Okay. So I know that majority of you, you are interested for becoming the data analyst. Okay. So that's what I'm going to talk about, how to become data analyst and what are the roadmap, what is the skill set you need to develop and how it is possible. Okay. So let me talk about first about data analyst. And if you have any kind of questions in between that I'm not able to get it or how to do it, you can ask, you can put your questions anytime. Okay. It's okay. Can you
Yeah,
say
got it.
yes or no? Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
So today's session will be more about information about data analytics. So let me share my screen so that I can help you. Let me know if you see my screen. I hope it should be visible, right?
Yes.
Okay. So guys, here in this session, I'm going to talk about, because I know that majority of you have no idea about data analytics, about this field, and what kind of job, what kind of the possibilities are possible, what are the career options are possible, that I will talk about, and how this field is evolving, how fast this field is evolving, what are the challenges, what are the scopes in this field, that I'm going to talk about, so that you will get some idea, fair idea about this field. Okay. So I have taken this information. This is not my data, by the way. I have taken from a site called Precedence Research. Okay, and this site is about, they're talking about the data analytics. So here I'm sharing some amazing fact about this, and you will be amazed by the fact that how fast this field is growing about data analytics. Okay. So this field, the market size right now in 2022 is supposed to be 41 billion USD dollar. Okay, and this is supposed to happen. This is supposed to go by 346 billion by 2030. So right now this is around 41 billion, and it is going to happen by 346 billion by 2030. So you can see that the rate, how the fast is this field is going to grow about more than 30% of the CAGR. For this rate, this field is going to grow so fast. So this field, I'm talking about data analytics. So it is combined of, there are multiple fields in this, for example, data science, data, I will talk about that. So as a whole, as a data science, this entire field is going to grow very fast. And that's why you might be watching a lot of ads, a lot of buzz around this field about data analytics. Okay, so why this is so growing fast? You can see this chart about the market size. So how tremendous fast this is going to grow fast in 2030. And trust me, this is the age of digital, because we are producing a lot of data nowadays. And because of this, why this field is growing so fast? Because of data. Okay, we have now a lot of data. Okay, and we are producing a lot of data, and we need some people, we need some technology to find the insight from this data. So that's why this field, wide like data science, machine learning, data engineering, data analytics, this field is growing so fast. Let me show some more example here. So this is the market size right now. So why this field is growing so fast? Because of data. Okay, because nowadays you know that we all producing a lot of data. If you go to retail store, let's suppose you go to DMart, you go to any retail store, you go to any restaurant, you go to anywhere in healthcare, anywhere, everywhere, because everything is digital right now, right? Let's suppose you're buying any product from the DMart. So what is happening? So DMart is going to capture your transaction history. Let's suppose you're buying any product from Flipkart, you're buying any product from retail store. So these all stores are totally equipped with the digital. Okay, they have the capability to store the data, to find the insight. So they are capturing your data, your behavior, your shopping style, which month you're buying which product. So they are tracking, everything is getting tracked. Okay, they have the digital services, digital capability. So that's why they are capturing a lot of data. Will you agree with me that we are producing a lot of data nowadays, isn't it? And because data are getting produced, we need some people, we need some way to find the insight, do the analysis on this data. If we have a data and we are not able to use the data, we are not able to find the analysis of this data, then I don't think it's going to be useful, isn't it? So because of that, for example, Chat GPT, you might have heard about Chat GPT, right? So Chat GPT is one example of data. So the Chat GPT has been trained on data, and that's why it becomes so powerful. So why this field is growing fast? Because of data. That's a growth factor. Okay. Now, for you, especially for you guys who are from non-IT, I think majority of people are from non-IT and you want to switch to in this field. So as a non-IT people, what are the different career options? Okay, what you can become in this field and how you can grow fast in this field. So I will talk about that. So in this field, and a lot of people, I find a lot of people are confused. What is data science? What is data engineering? What is machine learning? Okay, a lot of people have no fair idea about these things. So I'm going to give some fair ideas that what is the basic difference among these all technologies. So see, data science is a huge umbrella. Okay, in this umbrella, there are a lot of verticals in the data science. For example, so all the data, when we're producing the data, there should be one data sources. It can be because the data, you have to store the data somewhere. It can be any database. Okay. So the top one is called the data sources. And once you get the data, then you have to apply some processing. It is called data warehouse, data lake. I will discuss everything. I will decode this all concepts. So the top is the data sources, then it is called ETL, then it is called data analytics, descriptive analysis, and then it is called machine learning, predictive analysis, data science field. Okay, so they are the field. Let me decode this. Okay, so let me decode this picture. If you understand this picture, if you're able to understand this picture, then you will understand the entire process of data science, how the data science work. Okay, and here to explain this, I'm going to use my whiteboard. Okay, so that you will have some fair idea that what I'm going to talk about, and whatever you have a doubt that what is data science, what is data engineering, I think a lot of people has this doubt, and what are the skills that you need to learn in this field, I will talk about that. Okay, so let me share my screen one more time so I will get the fair idea. Okay, I hope you can see my screen, right? Okay, team, can you confirm? I hope it should be visible. Okay. Now let me decode this picture, and this will give you the entire whole idea about this entire field. Okay, and how this field is evolving, and as a non-IT people, where you can fit in these areas in this field. Okay, so I'm giving one example of DMart. Let's suppose, because I think majority people, you know what is DMart. It's a retail store where it has a lot of product around that. Okay, so what happens? So let's suppose you're going to DMart, you're buying some product. So what happened? This company DMart, the big retail store, they store the data, like they store your buying pattern, what kind of product you're buying. Okay, from what segment you're buying, on which day is you buying, on which festival day you're buying. Okay, so they are capturing a lot of data about you, about the customer, about the consumer. For example, on the retailer store, on the Flipkart, wherever you're going, they have the capability to capture data. So the first part in this process start with the data capturing. It is called data preparation. Okay, so for data preparation, you need some database, you need some storage. This storage can be in a database. It can be SAP, it can be Oracle, it can be Excel as well, it can be SQL Server. So there are a lot of storage, because if you capture the data, you need to store the data. Okay, so first part is the storing of the data. If you're not able to store the data, then how you can do the processing, right? So the first thing is called data preparation. You store the data. Okay, so once you store the data, so this data are stored in multiple systems. Okay, it can be, suppose you have a sensor, you are applying some logic. So there are multiple ways to store the data. This is not the one way I will store the data from this channel. So there are multiple channels. For example, you store the data in SAP server, SQL server, Oracle server, in Excel, in PDF format. There are multiple ways, multiple location you put the data. Okay, so this is called the data preparation or data storage part. So this part where you're putting the data, so basically you're dumping the data here. This is called data lakes. Okay, this portion where you're capturing the data, you are just dumping the data from different channel. This part is called data lakes. Okay, so you can see this picture. Here, the data is coming from different channels. It can come from files. It can come from database on cloud. It can come from video, for example, your video, for example, your social media. It can be from IoT devices, sensor, for example, smart cars. So data come from different channels. Okay, and this data is getting just dumped into a storage. It is called data lake. So data lake is just a storage where data is getting dumped, and it is a raw data. Okay, and this data right now you're not in position to process the data. This is just a storage right now. We just dump the data. Right now we cannot apply any machine learning algorithm over this. We cannot apply any Power BI tool to find the insight. So this is very raw data. Okay, and this data cannot be used right now. So this is called data laking. Okay, because once you capture the data, you have to dump somewhere. The first thing is that dumping the data. Once you dump the data, okay, then because this data is coming from different channel, they have it can be structured data, the data in a different format of data, and this data you cannot process right now. It is not ready to process. Okay, so once the data comes into a system, into a database or some system, then you have to do the processing. It is called ETL. This process is called ETL. Okay, ETL means extract. You have to extract the data from this channels. Then you have to transform. Transform means you have to apply some logic on this data so that it becomes meaningful. And then you have to load the data into servers. It can be Oracle server, it can be database, any kind of server. Okay, so this portion, okay, this portion is called data engineering. This portion, okay. So this is in the data science, data engineering is one part of the field. This is one vertical. Inside the data science, it is one vertical called data engineering. So in this portion, you have to only do the ETL kind of job. You have to load we create data pipeline because data is coming from different channel. So it's a pipeline. It is called data pipeline. And when data sit into data lakes, you have to extract the data, you have to do the transformation, and basically ultimately this data should go to some storage. It is called data warehouse. Okay, so in the data warehouse, your data is more processed, it is more refined data, you can say that. Okay, and for to achieve this, we need another team, and those people, those professionals are called data engineers. For example, in this line, you have to learn these things. You have to become in Python. So these are the tools or technology which are involved to make a career in the data engineering field. For example, Python, SQL database, NoSQL database, ETL tool like Informatica, big data. You might have heard about big data, right? Hadoop, Spark, and cloud. So these are some tools that is used to become data engineer. Okay, and in this field, Python is very must. It's an expert. You have to be very expert in Python. It's very fundamental. And here you have to do coding as well. Because once you create the data pipeline, and you have to do some extraction, transformation. So in this field, you have to very good in Python because coding is required in this field. So this is one vertical which comes under data science called data engineers, big data engineers, Hadoop in this field. Okay. Next field. So let's suppose you've done the data. You got the data. You have from the data lakes. You did the ETL and you converted the data into some meaningful information and put into data warehouse. Okay. Now from here, so now you have the data which you can find insight. You can find some analysis. These data are ready for doing the analysis. Okay, so the data which are sitting in the data lake, you cannot do analysis on that data. It is raw data. But the data comes into data warehouse, then it becomes eligible for perform the all kind of analysis. Okay, so now here the role of data analysts come into picture. Okay, so the first part is called data engineering. Okay, and the middle part, which I'm going to talk about now. So let's suppose some people, data engineers, they have done the data and they dump the data into data warehouse. Okay, now as a data analyst, what you will do from this system, you will pull the data and you will use some tools. For example, in this case, you have to use a BI tool. It can be Power BI, it can be Tableau. You might have heard about these tools, okay? And here you have to be very good in the database, because you have to pull that data from data warehouse. It can be a SQL server, it can be Oracle server. So you should be very good in SQL. It is called a structured query language. So SQL interact with that database. It helps you to pull that data from the data warehouse. Okay, so that's why you need a good knowledge of SQL. And Excel is required because data will come. You have to load that data in Excel as well. You have to do some pre-processing. So in this field, Excel is required, SQL is required, and Power BI is required. Okay, and in this field, Python is not mandatory in the DA field, in the data analytics field. Python is not mandatory though, but it is good to have a Python, because in some cases you have to do some automation. Okay, so maybe you should be good in Python as well, but Python is not mandatory. What is the mandatory in this field? Your SQL knowledge, because you have to load the data from data warehouse. So SQL is fundamental. You should be very good in SQL, and some BI tool. For example, it can be Power BI, it can be Tableau. Okay, so these are the two mandatory field which is required, and Excel also. So what is the job of DA, data analyst here? So they will pull the data from data warehouse, and they will create the report. They will do the analysis on the data. Okay, for example, sales data. What happened to sales for last 10 years? And for a segment wise, you have a product, you have multiple segment, like you have a food item, you have a cosmetic, there are a lot of items, right? So segment wise, which item has more demand? Or customer wise, that this customer from this part of India, from this state, will either more demand, something like that. I think you might be already doing some analysis in your job. If you are from sales department, marketing department, HR, it can be any kind of analysis. So once you load that data, then you have to do the analysis, and you have to create dashboards. It is called visualization. Okay. So because why this UI, this is called why visualization is required, because this visualization that we're going to develop as a DA, these are used by the business people. Okay. So as a DA, as a data analyst, which you're going to become, you will always interact with the business people. Maybe it can be client, it can be manager, it can be your business analyst. These people can be also possible. Okay, so that's why as a data analyst, it is very important to have a good communication skill. Okay, so apart from technical skill, your communication skill is very must. It should be good communication skill, because here you will be more like a presenting mode. Okay, you will develop the dashboard. You will, because you understand the data pretty well. Nobody can understand data than you. So you know the data, understand the data trend, and that data you have to, guys, you have to discuss with the business people, with client, with business owner, okay, with the manager. So that's why you should have very good communication skills, so that you can represent the data, the trend about the data. Okay, so this is the job of data analyst. So in this case, your job, technically, you have to learn these skills: SQL, Power BI, Excel, and Python is also good. If you have the Python, it's an added advantage. And here, so your job will be what? To just understand the data, load the data, create the reports, and this report should be sent to business people. Okay, and you have to discuss with the business people, maybe in meeting, in presentation. So that is the job of data analyst here. Any question here, guys? You have any question about this data analyst, this portion, in the middle portion? So there are three fields. So the data engineer is one field where their only job is to do the ETL, to just get the data from data lake and make sure that data is getting dumped into data warehouse. Okay, and the DA people, they will take the data from data warehouse, and they will create the report. They will create dashboards, so that the business people can understand the data, and they can take some business decision in their business. Okay, let's suppose if the business people come to know, okay, the sales of this product for this segment is going to be high in next month. So they know that from the previous trend, for this segment, for this product, the sales is high in this month. So these people, they can take some decision. They can put more product in that month. Okay, so that's why it's very important to show the data, so these people can take the business decision based on the trend, based on the visualization. So that is the job of your data analyst. And why this field is growing so fast? Because of this data. As I told you, right, data is growing so fast, and every company today, even if it's a small based company or even large based company, every company has that data today. Okay, and if they have the data, if they find the trend in the data, okay, what is happening in the data, they can take a right decision in future, and that decision will help them to grow their business. Okay, yeah, and this you can apply in any field. It can be retail, it can be marketing, it can be sales field, it can be retail field, it can be HR, it can be anywhere in this all technologies. Okay, so this is the part, this is what you will learn if you're interested in this field, in the data analyst. Any question in this field? You have any doubt, you want any clarity, guys, in data analyst field? Everything is clear so far? If you have any question, please interact and please ask any questions if you have any doubt here in this field. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Anyone more questions? Any doubt you have?
No, sir. Fine.
Okay. So this is the second field. Now what happens? Now the third is called data science. It is called AI or machine learning. Okay. So what happens once you have the, so this DA, they do the data postmortem. Okay, they do the data analysis on the past data, on the historical data, last 10 year, 20 year, what happened to the data. Now let's suppose you've done the analysis. Okay, now you want to find the future. Okay, in future, what can be possibility? If I have the sales data for last 5 years, 10 years, then in next 2 years, in next 3 years, in next 5 years down the line, what can be the trend going forward, right? So that trend, it is called predictive analysis. So as a DA, you're using the descriptive analysis. You're doing the data postmortem. You're finding that in the previous data. So these people who are the data scientists or machine learning or AI developers, so these people find the future insight, future trend of the given data set. They find the future possibility that what can be the future about the trend. Okay, so this is called data science. So in this field, you have to learn this skill. Python is very must. You have to be very good in Python, and some kind of stats is required, and machine learning, deep learning, NLP, TensorFlow. So these are the skill set you have to develop in this skill set. Okay, so there are three fields. So data engineering, data analytics, and data science. As a whole, everything is called data science. This whole is called data science. Okay. So your part will be here. You will become data analyst, okay? And which is, I would say, as a non-IT professional, it is easy to learn this skill. I'm not saying it is impossible. Even you can become data scientist, become data engineer, but the learning curve in this area is too huge. To become data scientist, you should be good in, first of all, Python is very must in both areas, in the data engineering area and even the data science. Python is a must. You should be very good in Python. And in data scientist, you have to good in you have to learn deep learning, mathematics, and machine learning, TensorFlow. There's some framework. And in the data engineering, you have to learn database, Hadoop, Spark, Cloud. These are must required. But the middle one, the data analyst, I believe our learning curve here is very less as a non-IT people. Okay, and as a non-IT professional, you already might be dealing with some kind of data, some sort of data in your day-to-day job. Only thing what you're doing, you're not applying these tools. You're not using, maybe you might be doing some analysis, maybe on Excel, right? Maybe some manual way, but you're not applying maybe Power BI, SQL query. So there's a possibility that in your current job as well, you can apply these tools. Okay, that's what you will learn. Okay, so this is the science, this is the area of data science as a whole, where people are learning in this area. Okay, so as a data, as a non-IT people, I can say that as a non-IT people, these are the area data analyst, which you can easily learn. Okay, so you have to, in this field, you have to master SQL database, because you have to load the data. So SQL is pretty much required, Power BI is pretty much required, Excel knowledge is required. So these three are important things, and it can be Python. If you have a Python, it's great. And communication would be pretty good because you have to interact with the client, manager, business people. So these are the skill set you have to develop to become a good data analyst. Okay. I hope it is clear. Or you have any doubt? Anyone has any doubt?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Okay. So this is the field of data analyst. Okay. What next? So this is the crux of data analyst. And what next you can, let me share some, what next you can learn from it. Okay. So this is the all processing happens. So if you become the data analyst, so there will be data sources. Okay. And data source can be anything. It can be database, it can be ERP, it can be CRM, it can be SQL, it can be flat file, it can be PDF file, it can be Notepad, it can be Excel. So this is called data sources. So as a data analyst, you have to connect with data sources. Okay. And for this data sources, you have to learn SQL basically. So SQL will help you to connect with database. Okay. And these are the data flow, what happens. So these are the job of ETL. So this process is done by data engineers, not data analysts. Okay. So the middle portion is done by data analysts. So they will pull the data from data lake from different sources, and they will do the ETL job, and they will dump the data into data warehouse. Okay. And then the role of BI comes. So here is the role of you as a data analyst. So you will create the data visualization, you will create the report, you will create the dashboard, you will do some alerts, you will do data mining. So these are the responsibility as a data analyst, the last one. Okay. The middle one, it is the job of data engineers, big data engineers. And the last one, this is the job of your data analyst, this portion. Okay. In market, there are a lot of BI tools, not only Power BI. There are a lot of competitors for Power BI. For example, Looker, Tableau. Tableau is a very close competitor. Tableau is there, Qlik is there, and Zoho. There are a lot of tools already available. Only Power BI is not that tool. But right now, Power BI is the leader in this segment. Okay, and a lot of people who are already working in Qlik, for example, Looker, they are migrating their project into Power BI because Power BI is very simple to use. You don't have to do any coding. It is more like a Excel. You can see that it's an advanced version of Excel. Okay, so that is why it is easy to learn. Though a lot of competitors. So your job will be what? You will connect with multiple data sources using SQL, and you will use Power BI as a tool. Okay, and this tool will create reports. This tool will create dashboard like this. Okay. So your job will be to create a dashboard. And okay, so in this field, what you have to do, so they are the 5 process, okay, that basically as a DA, as a data analyst, you have to do this all 5 things, okay. First thing, you will connect to data sources. So there will, in your project, there will be a lot of data sources. It can be database. And first thing, you have to do the connectivity. And for that, you have to learn SQL. If you want to connect to database, you would load the data. So first you have to learn the SQL, first thing, okay? And then you will load that data and you will do that some data transformation, because the data which is coming from data source, it's a very raw data, okay? Some way you have to do some manipulation in the data. So that is called data transformation. So this all is done by Power BI, okay? The data transformation, data modeling. So everything, remaining everything is done by Power BI. Only connecting to data source, you have to use SQL, okay? And the remaining like data transformation, data modeling, data visualization, and data reporting, everything is done by Power BI, okay? So this is the, as a data analyst, आपका जो job होगा, that will be your job, your responsibility in IT company. And this is what you're going to do. So ultimately, your job will be create the dashboard, do the data visualization, and create the report, and discuss this report with your stakeholder, maybe your client, your manager, business people. You have to share, you have to discuss with those people, okay? Why data visualization is so important? Let's take a look at this picture. If I ask you, just find me how many 9s are there in this image. See, you have a data right now. There are a lot of data in this slides, right? There are a lot of digits. And if I ask you, I want number of nines, how many nines are there in this diagram? So if you see the data, it's very raw data, right? To finding the pattern, how many nines are there, it's very difficult to understand, isn't it? But if I show like this, if you apply some visualization on this data, then it's very easy to understand. Anybody can understand, okay, how many nines are there. This is one example I'm showing. So why data visualization, why data analysis is so important? Because data are very raw. Okay, the database is coming from different channel, different sources. That is very raw data, and that data you cannot utilize for business purpose. Okay, so somehow I need to transform the data. I need to show the report. I need to create dashboard so that the business people, the higher authority, those people can take the decision. They can understand the data. So that is why it's so important. Okay, so I'm giving some example of dashboards. Okay, so these are some dashboard that you as a data analyst you have to develop in project. You can see that it's a sales dashboard. Okay, so this data behind the scene, this data is coming from different channel, from different data sources. Maybe these data are sitting in the database. Okay, so you're pulling the data, and here you're applying some transformation, you're applying some logic on this data using Power BI. And so finally, आपका जो product होगा, the final result will be like this. Okay, so you have to produce a dashboard, and from this dashboard, anybody can understand about the data. What is the sum, total sales, total profit, total discount, sum of quantity, and the sales by segment, by category, by month, like this. It's a bar chart. The sales by day and month, right? Sales by category, and customer name, how much, what are the sales against a customer. So it's a one demo I'm giving, one example. So as a Power BI developer, as a data analyst, आपको ये करना. That's what you have to create. You have to create dashboards, and you will publish this dashboard. You will create a report. So that is your final product. Okay, that you have to develop. Like this, there are a lot of a lot of complex visualization. It's very simple. There are a lot of things you can do with the data. Like this, you can create reports, sales dashboard, bar chart, a lot of things. So it is just like an art. I would say, according to me, it's like an art. You become like an artist. Okay, if you love art, that you will love this field, something like that. Okay, so this is the field of data analyst, where आपका जो job होगा in the middle part, you will connect to database, you will load the data, and you will do some data transformation using Power BI, and that you will create the report. Okay, so that's the job of data analyst. Okay, now tell me, any questions you have, any doubt you have? Okay. One second. Okay. Now, guys, tell me any questions you have. Any doubt you have? This understanding is clear. What you're going to do as a data analyst, what can be your role, and what thing you have to develop, what thing you have to learn in this process. Okay.
No, sir, it's clear.
It's clear, right? Okay.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me start my. Okay, so this is highlight about data analytics field. This is what we do in the data analytics. Okay, so there are three different fields. One is called data engineering, one is called data analyst, one is called data science. So your profile will be as a data analyst. Okay, now in the data analyst part, you understand what skill set you have to learn. And 1 second. Yeah. So this is what you have to learn in this field. Okay. And now I'm going to talk about some technical stuff. This was very high level of idea about what is data analyst. Okay. So basically in this field, you have to master three important things. What the first is the SQL. You should be very good in SQL. And second thing is this Excel. You might be already use Excel in your project, in your work. And third is the Power BI, okay? And a little bit Python. So Python is also required to just have some automation done in your project. Okay. So here I'm giving some example of, let me give some example of first the SQL, okay? And my intention is not to teach you SQL because in 1 hour, 2 hour, I cannot teach you SQL, okay? My intention is just give the idea that how easy and that's I want to see the test. I want to show the test of SQL, that how SQL is difficult or easy. That's what you will learn, okay? So let me give some idea about SQL. Anybody knows SQL? Anybody has some idea about SQL? No, right?
No, sir.
Okay. So let me start. I'm giving a small idea, a very brief idea about SQL. Again, my intention is not to teach you SQL right now because in 1 hour, nobody can teach you SQL in 1 hour. But I want to give some idea. So I'm opening my database. Let me share my screen so you will have some idea. Okay. I hope you can see my screen, right? So here as I told you, I'm not going to teach SQL right now. It will take some time because in 1 day or 2 days, I cannot teach SQL. I'm just giving the test here. Just fill the test, okay? Key how SQL is, how to use SQL, okay? So in SQL, you know that SQL, okay, let me explain how SQL works. Okay. So, you know, sir, I talk about data sources, right? So you have multiple data sources, data warehouse, okay, where you will pull the data. So there will be database in your project. You will find, let's suppose this is my database project. This is my database, okay? So there will be some database. It can be anything. It can be SQL. It can be, there are a lot of databases available in market, MySQL or Oracle. There are a lot of databases. We will learn in future, okay? So let's assume this is database. This portion is the database, okay? Now you have to learn, in this field, you have to learn SQL. We call it SQL, structured query language, okay? That you will learn, and you have to really very good in this portion. In the SQL portion, you have to very good, okay? So the idea, why we use SQL to just connect with database. So this SQL, this will connect to database, okay? And they will load the data. So they will connect to database and they will load the data because the data is sitting in your database, okay? And if you want to do any kind of analysis on this data, you have to pull the data first from the system. Once you pull the data, then you will perform any kind of analysis. So pulling the data, you have to use SQL. It's another language. It is just like another, you can say a kind of programming language, which is very simple. And you will get the data from database, okay? So now I'm going to give an example here, how to use SQL. So you can see here, I have some database. I have HR database here, okay? How to create database, we will discuss later. And we have some tables in this database. For example, employee table. What is table? I will talk about that. So table is just like a container. It has multiple record in the table. For example, employee record, right? In a company, there are a lot of employees working. Okay, so all the record are sitting into database inside the table. So once you have the record, then you have to pull the record from the database. Okay, so in SQL, you have to learn the queries. It is called queries. Okay, you can see here. For example, from this table, I want to get all the record. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to write some queries here. So how to write a query? So that you will learn. like this. Okay, so you have to say select a star from the table and table name. Don't worry this syntax right now. I just fill that test. Okay, my intention is not to teach you database right now because it will take time. I want to show that it's easy. Okay, you can see here. So I wrote some one command, select a star from this table. If you run this, you will get the record. See, you're getting a lot of record about database, about this table. Okay, so like this, you have to learn the queries, how to write the query so that you can pull the data. Okay, so this is kind of a kind of programming language. Okay, where you will pull the data from the table. Okay, so like this, you have to command these languages. There are a lot of syntax around that that you will learn. Right now, I can't teach you everything. So that's what you have to learn, the SQL. Yes, you have to use some command, and which is very easy to understand. Anybody can understand. For example, here, this is one query that I want to get all the record, employee record, whose age is, for example, whose age is between 20 and 30. Okay, so between 20 and 30, what are the employees available? So that's the one command, select a star from table where I'm building some condition like this. Okay, so it will give you all the records from the database, something like that. Okay, so don't worry, you will learn this all things. Okay, that's what you will learn, SQL and then Python. Okay, so this is about Python, SQL that you will learn. Next thing is a Python. So in tomorrow class, I will give some idea about Python, how to use Python in your project. And Python is not mandatory, by the way, but I will give some idea. Okay. So tomorrow class, SQL. Do you want to know more about SQL right now? Anyone? Okay. So for SQL, we need to do some setup, database setup for that. So that's why some installation is required right now. Okay. They are different between database. SQL is common to all. No, SQL is common for all. Database can be different. Okay, database can be you can use any kind of database. It can be SQL, it can be Oracle, it can be any kind of database. But the SQL, the syntax will remain same. You will use the same syntax to connect with all databases. Okay, so you're not going to learn databases, you're going to learn SQL. So database will remain same, but you will able to connect to different databases with the same command. For example, if I'm writing select a star from table, okay, so this syntax will remain same to all databases. You can, even in the Oracle, even in the MySQL, even in the any kind of databases, that will remain same, any kind of databases. So the syntax almost remains same. Some syntax changes, couple of things. Maybe there's some variation in the syntaxes depending upon the database, but mostly it will remain same all the time. Okay, so it is a platform independent, you can say that. It does not depend upon the platform. Okay, so you will learn that. So tomorrow I will give some technical aspect. I will give some idea about Python and SQL, so that we will have some understanding how it is difficult or how it is easy, and that I will talk about tomorrow. Okay. So today, I think I have a special, Sudeep, are you there? I think he has joined. Sudeep, can you hear me? Hello? Who is Sudeep? Can you hear me? Okay. No, I'm asking Sudeep. I have invited one person, one special person who is my past student. Sudeep, can you hear me?
Now I
Oh,
am able
okay.
to hear you, Rajesh. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. So guys, as I promised you, I have bring out this person. His name is Sudeep. Okay. And he was my previous student. and who had become their data analyst. So why I'm inviting you to just to ask any kind of questions. So if you have any kind of questions that how it is possible, what are the challenge in this process, you can ask right now. Okay. So before that, let me introduce. So Sudeep was Sudeep, just introduce yourself. Why should I talk about yourself? So Sudeep, can you tell me your journey? How was your journey? And before coming to IT, before coming to become data analyst, what was your journey and what is right now?
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you, Rajesh, sir, for inviting me in your
Your voice is a bit
webinar.
low.
Am I audible now? Is
Okay,
it
yeah.
audible to
It
you?
is audible for everyone, right?
Okay.
Okay, go
Uh,
ahead.
as you know, Rajesh, sir, when I came to you, I was working in one of the companies as a accountant. I have done my commerce
Mhm.
BCom degree, and I wanted to grow in my life. And when I was engaged with one of the NGOs, at that time I was getting salary only 19,000 rupees per month, and that was not enough. And I was looking for some good opportunity where I can learn and I can grow in my life. Suddenly, I came to about your advertisement in the Facebook, and it was written there that anyone can grow in IT who are having not experience in IT. Suddenly, I thought, suddenly I thought I should take a chance, and I contact you to you, and I got the guidelines and done and learned something which is really beneficial right now.
Mhm.
What I am up to because of you, sir.
Mhm. So I know that Sudeep, initially you had a lot of doubt, self-doubt, and anybody can have self-doubt. It is really possible. I can do this. You have never done this before. So what was your challenge in the beginning? What was your
Sir,
self-doubt?
challenge was only one thing. I have having only self doubt. कि हम कर सकते हैं काम के लिए because BCom degree, no technical background, that is really a tough thing that I have to take decisions. And but I have guts, I have confidence that if a guidance I get proper guidance, I can do anything, and I have to grow in my life. That passion act as a driving force for me, and I took a chance and took a
Mhm.
risk. Without risk, I know nothing is there in my life. So I
Okay.
took risk, and that risk is returned me really what I am up
So
to.
once you get a job, first job as a data analyst,
Yes, sir.
then did you face any kind of challenge in the beginning? I think there was a lot of challenge, right, in the beginning. You did a
Sir,
course and
after
then
completion of after completion of the course, when I joined the data analysis program, I got I got the technical members which are really helpful for me. They give proper guidance to me, and the company provided a basic training program, and time to time your team and of course you, sir, whenever I get doubt, I contact you and you help me a lot for survival in this industry. Now I feel myself comfortable, and I want to make my career in this field, and I will grow purely up to a manager level.
So how do you find the scope now? Do you find you are growing? How is the scope now going forward? I think you have how many years, how many times you have spent now? I think 1 year, right? Almost one
Yes,
and
sir,
a half,
almost 10 months is going
10
to
months.
be.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
how do you find the scope going forward? Do you think it's a right field?
Sir,
What is the scope?
I feel, sir, this is a very good time to do this data analysis course, and there is plenty of opportunities are available for anybody because it has the capability to cope up lot of scopes are there, sir. I
Mhm.
will say this is the one of the growing field in the entire world
Data science
because
field.
data is everywhere, and data is play a crucial role in any organization, and maintaining data, playing with data, these are the skills. If a person have knowledge,
Mm,
he
mm,
can grow anything. He can grow up to any level, and I
mm.
totally devoted in my life in this field.
Okay. Mhm. So guys, I'm inviting everyone, if you have Vikram, Santosh, and Anika, if you have any kind of questions, any particular question about that, uh, that how it will happen, anything, if you want to ask, so they will share his experience and you will get answers. So anybody has any questions? You want to ask any questions? Aramika, okay. Yes, Anamika, please go ahead.
Hi, Sudeep.
Hello.
How was how was your transition from non-sales to IT, like from non-IT to IT?
Ma'am, I was totally novice. I was simply knowing how to start a computer and just learn MS Excel, MS Office, how to feed data, that entry I was able to do when I was in my previous job in one of the NGOs. I was working
Like
in
it
Ranchi,
was
Jharkhand.
easy, or you managed it?
No, it was, you want to ask whether kaisa tha? It was easy process, learning kaisa tha, like all the technologies, for example, SQL, Power BI, it was easy or it was difficult? Just what you want to understand.
Actually, ma'am, I was very much interested in the technology field, and challenges came. I can never know more about Excel, and Rajesh sir and teams has taught me about SQL, Excel, Tableau. These things helped me a lot. I learned several copying I use as a resource in Google, Rajesh sir's materials.
So
That
how was the
helped me.
SQL? How was the SQL for you? Did you find difficult in SQL?
As
Database
a,
SQL?
no, sir, no, sir. SQL, I was really make me feel comfortable. At the beginning, learning was little difficult at the beginning, but within
Hmm.
3 to 4 weeks, I learned all the queries, how to run queries, how data will fetch from the table, how database will work. These things I learned from the books, Rajasthan material, and several other resources in Google that makes me comfortable. At the beginning, it was really exciting, but I put a lot of effort. I I stopped other unwanted activities. I devoted myself in learning, and that makes me possible. What I am up to is total my hard work and effort and the guidance I got from sir.
Thank you, Sudeep, and it is really amazing to see, to share,
And I
you
think
share.
Sudeep, you are learning Python right now, right? So how you finding Python? How's your Python journey?
Python is really very easy language, sir. Anybody can learn it. In company also where we are working Python, I'm learning, and the teachers and team members also telling me that Python is the new technology that will boom in the near future. So
And I hope you also
Python,
learning C. I think you also learning C, C++, right?
yes, sir. C++. I totally devoted myself in IT, sir. Now I want to compete real software engineers, those who have done BTech, MCA. I will beat them in 1 or 2 years.
Okay. Okay, I have one question from the chat box that, okay. So Sudeep, he's working in a bank right now. Which bank, Sudeep? I think you're working in some bank, right?
Yes, sir.
So he's working in a bank as a data analyst. I think who asked the question? I think Abhay.
It's a
And
fintech company.
And how was your first 3 months? So once you get the job, first job, तो पहला 3 month कैसा था? It was challenging था, कैसा experience था?
I when I came to this field, I was totally feel like alien. I was working in NGO now
नहीं
in
नहीं,
fintech
ये
company.
asking after getting the job
Yes,
होने
sir.
के बाद, let's suppose आपको interview हो गया, once you
Yes,
get
sir.
the first job in this bank as a data analyst, so वो journey
Yes, sir.
कैसा था? कितना challenging था? Challenge होता था कि कैसे करें, काम कैसे करें?
Actually, sir, I enjoyed. When I started enjoying, not took as a burden, not as a challenge. I focus on learning what are my seniors was telling me that this data you have to analyze and you have to make the dashboard. I was preparing on the dashboard. I put extra effort on learning. I put extra effort on doing the task. That was
तो कभी
exciting and that
pressure नहीं
was
हुआ?
really
मतलब
enjoyable.
कभी
No,
ऐसा
I never
work
felt
pressure?
any. No. It is better than NGO, sir.
Okay. 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 Yes, anybody, any questions? Santosh, Vikram? Or be questions?
Yeah.
Anyone? Yes,
Yes.
Santosh.
Right now, you're working with which language, like Python or SQL?
No,
Python
no.
SQL.
SQL तो आपको करना ही पड़ेगा. SQL is the mandatory
Without
for.
SQL,
SQL में
SQL
करना है ये.
हाँ, SQL is mandatory because.
नहीं, अभी आप कौन कौन
hello.
He's using Power now, SQL, Power BI, okay? And Python,
Okay.
Python is not required, but he's learning Python for do some automation. Because क्या होगा ना, going forward, आपको जैसे you become senior, then you have to become a good programmer as well. तो आपको Python भी pick up करना पड़ेगा going forward. But start करने के लिए Python is not mandatory, but that's why we teach Python as well, because Python जरूरी होता है. और क्या है ना, यहाँ पर जैसे मैं बताया था, 1 second, let me show again, कि let's suppose right now you are data analyst, okay? You want to transition into data scientist, आप वो transition कर सकते हो. Let's suppose you are now data analyst, you want to transition to data engineer बनना चाहते हो, वो भी कर सकते हो, ठीक है? Because all the three fields are connected to each other, ठीक है? But वो transition
So it's
करने के
entry.
लिए, या entry करने के लिए
तो अभी
become,
entry के लिए
या entry करने के लिए go as a data analyst, जहाँ पर learning curve is less, ठीक है? उसके बाद 1 साल 2 साल के बाद अगर आपको ट्रांजिशन करना है, बिकम डेटा साइंटिस्ट, आपको मशीन लर्निंग में जाना है, वहां भी जा सकते हो, बट वहां थोड़ा सा लर्निंग बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. जैसे पाइथन आपको बहुत अच्छा कमांड करना पड़ेगा. लेट्स सपोज यू वांट टू बिकम डेटा इंजीनियर बनना है, जैसे बिग डेटा, हडूप, स्पार्क, क्लाउड, वो करना, उसमें भी जा सकते हो, लेकिन उसमें लर्निंग कर्व ज्यादा है. ओके, सो गोइंग फॉरवर्ड आप उसमें भी इंटर कर सकते हो, बट फर्स्ट एंट्री इनटू डेटा एनालिस्ट, विच इज द लेसर लर्निंग कर्व इन दिस फील्ड. और अगर चाहते हो डेटा एनालिस्ट में ग्रो करना चाहते हो, यहाँ भी ग्रो कर सकते हो, यहाँ भी मैसिव ग्रोथ है इन दिस फील्ड एज वेल. या डेटा आर्किटेक्ट इज सेम, और डेटा आर्किटेक्ट इज द नेक्स्ट लेवल. इट्स वेरी सीनियर लेवल. ओके, सो आप डेटा एनालिस्ट भी if you want more in the technical side, you become data architect going forward. But अभी के लिए नहीं है, you will start as a junior, maybe data analyst. Going forward, you will become data architect. वो भी एक position, data architect या manager या lead, that can be your next role. Vikram is asking how many interview you face with first offer. So सुधीर, कितना आपने इंटरव्यू दिया था? Remember नंबर कितना
This
फेल?
was my 12.
10-12 इंटरव्यू दिया था. आई रिमेम्बर कि लगभग मुझे रिमेम्बर है 6 से 7 इंटरव्यू बहुत ही बेकार गया था. ही वाज नॉट एबल टू कनेक्ट द डॉट, बट करते ही वी वर्क ऑन द गैप, कि कहाँ पर गैप है. जैसे सिक्वल में ही वाज नॉट कंफर्टेबल इन द जॉइंट्स, कि जॉइंट्स कैसे करते हैं, तो देयर वाज सम लैकिंग इन जॉइंट्स, उसमें काम किया. उसके बाद पावर बीआई में देयर वाज सम प्रॉब्लम. सो keep giving interviews, so you will find your gap, कि कहाँ पर gap है, then you will reform, you will rework on that. So generally
taught me so many things.
Yes.
Each interview has taught me learning lessons. I
Yes.
learned from my previous mistakes. Then I keep on improving.
देखो, पहला इंटरव्यू आपका, मैं बोल रहा हूँ, I told everybody that first 6 to 7 इंटरव्यू आपका बहुत ही खराब जाएगा. You don't have to expect कि मैं इंटरव्यू क्रैक हो जाएगा. Okay, why? Because you have to learn from your failure. So 6, you have to keep your mindset, next 10 interview I'm going to fail. 10 इंटरव्यू आपका खराब जाएगा ही जाएगा. That is my challenge. उसके बाद you will start improving. Okay, so तो आपको शुरू में फेल होना पड़ेगा. So don't worry, you have to fail in 6 interviews, 7 interview. उसके बाद the result will come. देखो, we are humans, okay? We keep learning from our mistake. आप एक ही बात बार बार करोगे, मिस्टेक करोगे, you will learn ultimately. There's no any rocket science in it. Okay. Yes. Any more questions, guys? Anyone who has any questions? Ask question. Okay, I'm just inviting you. This is the right time. You can ask any question. अगर कोई भी doubt है, कैसे होगा, something like that, you can ask any questions. If you don't want to speak, you can put in chat box. Lekin I would highly recommend, see, if you want to become data analyst, then you have to speak. Okay, इसमें speaking की बहुत जरूरत होती है. You have to be very good communicator. Speak करना पड़ेगा आपको इस field में. Because your role will be more like a business side. You will be interacting with the business people. You will be always giving presentation. So you have to speak more. So please speak. If you have any question, please talk, please speak. don't put in chat box, just speak. Any questions, guys? Okay, a lot of noise. Okay, okay, no problem. Vikram. Azhar.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Rajesh, sir. So
Yes.
actually,
Yeah,
I
tell
want
me.
to ask Sudeep. Hi, Sudeep. This side, Azhar.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, one thing I wanna ask. So during interview time, so what type of question they was asking there related to like your technical, like be Power BI questions or SQL questions or Excel question? What type of question they was asking there?
Sir, I joined a training from Rajesh sir, and I taken all the interviews on the basis of my past experience. So that was more about my previous job work experience, what I have done in my previous job. So Rajesh sir taught me, he made my CV resume according to my previous job. So according to my previous job, I answered, and yeah, you are right. They are focusing on SQL commands. They asked me to write queries, how you will fetch data from a table which having least salary of an employee. This kind of
So
questions they were asked.
so how many rounds happened there? Like practical part or like theory part, like how many rounds happened there in interview time?
Two rounds were there. One
Yeah,
is technical
generally
round.
it will be two technical rounds. First round, second round, then third will be manager round or HR round. Generally,
Okay.
two technical rounds hoga.
Sir, I want to add one point.
Hmm.
So, is there any practical like here Azhar has added that they will be doing some coding also in the interviews?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, SQL में they will ask coding like SQL command लिखना पड़ेगा. I saw you,
So
right?
Okay.
query,
Select
mostly queries, sir.
queries.
Queries.
So
They will
can
ask.
they
Simple queries, not
Okay,
very
okay, sir.
complex.
now
Yeah,
one
on the paper,
one
they will not give a system, they will give a paper. Okay.
On the
Okay.
paper,
So on the paper,
Same
they will
paper.
ask that query. They will give some scenario, you have multiple table, and you have to pull the record from this table. So you have to write the query on the paper.
So is there any question related to Power BI? That means like how will you represent your data and how
Yes,
will you
yes,
show?
yeah,
Yes,
they will,
yes,
yeah.
yes, they will ask. They will ask.
Definitely they will ask,
Yeah,
right?
80%, see, 80% question will be asked from Power BI because that is your main topic, Power BI.
So that is mostly
Most
basically
important, yeah. That
theory
you have,
part only, right?
yeah, theory part, like all like data source, connectivity, there are a lot of questions. So 80% question will be from Power BI and maybe 10%, 20% will be from SQL. And couple of, if you are showing Python, then they can ask couple of questions from Python as well. But majority of question Power BI se aayega, majority of the question.
Like whatever I include my resume, say they will ask related to that,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
आप क्या show करते हो? What you showing to the recruiter people?
No, the Sudeep was added one thing like the gapping period. In gapping period, what I have done, so I have to put there, like
Yes,
like
yes, project. Yeah, that's your project. Yes.
okay, yeah.
So आप
That's
जो भी
fine.
project पूछोगे, question will ask from the project side कि what you have done in this project. They will ask question from the project. तो प्रोजेक्ट को आपको जस्ट मेमोराइज कर लेना है, जब मतलब उसको इतना रट्टा मारना, इतना मेमोराइज करना है कि इट बिकम द मेमोरेबल. आप इसको तो मेमोराइज कर लोगे.
Correct.
तो दे विल आस्क क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम प्रोजेक्ट.
Yeah. Only one question I have remind. Okay, like how many months you have done your courses, all these things, like
7 to 8 months.
7 to 8 months, because you was the non-IT, and
Yes.
those who have the IT guys and who have the all the knowledge, then how many months they will take to like tackle such type of interview?
even for IT guys, because IT you may be in different department. For example, you can be Java developer, you can be XYZ, right? So even you are IT, because these are the new field for you. Okay, so even for you, you have to learn these things. So 4 months to लगेगा only learning करने में. Okay, and after that आपका after 4 months you will start giving interviews. So interviews में it will take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, that depends. So it does not matter whether it's a IT people or non-IT people, that amount you have to give. 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, that will be, you have to invest that amount. Okay. Any more questions? Please guys, ask questions if you have any questions. No questions?
Just I have one question, sir.
Yes, yes, Vikram.
Vikram Mehra. Hi, sir. Sir, I just want to know previously how much years of experience he has.
कितना experience
Because
था
he,
सुदीप तुम्हारा? I think
In NGO,
NGO में
Oh.
non-IT में कितना experience था?
4 years.
4 year का था. Okay.
okay. And then,
Hmm.
sir, after switching to this our field data analysis, the percentage, how much hike he got? I'm not asking any exact package, but hike.
I am telling you, when I was working in NGO, I was earning 19,000 rupees per month. Now my salary is almost three times.
Good, sir. Good. That's a great job. Actually.
And is planning to switch the job. इसका लगभग 1 साल होने वाला है, right? Almost 10 month हो चुका है, तो maybe 2-4 महीने के बाद he will switch job.
Good, good.
तो एक साल काम करो, 1 साल 1.5 साल काम करो, then switch job.
Then again I will get
Yes.
more salary.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Any more questions? Anything? Santosh, any questions? Tomorrow I will invite my current student. Okay, Sudeep is my previous student. So abhi jo, the people who are pursuing the course right now. So I will invite couple of students and they will share their experience, that unko kaisa experience ho raha hai and how they're going, how they're managing their time, job ke saath kaise they're finding the time. So I will invite student from current batch and they will share their experience, how they are going. Okay. Any more questions, guys? Anything you want to ask? देखिए यहाँ पर क्या गेम पूरा स्किल का है, ठीक है. इफ यू सो देखिए आपको, जैसा आई टोल्ड एवरीबॉडी हैड डिस्कस राइट, कि यू विल गेट द इंटरव्यू कॉल्स. आप जैसे ही प्रोफाइल चेंज करोगे, यू विल शो सम एक्सपीरियंस, आपका प्रोफाइल विल बी डिफरेंट इन मार्केट. You will get the interview calls. Okay, but if you're not able to crack, only thing you have to crack interview. It will take time. मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि आप पहला मंथ में आपको जॉब मिल जाएगा. Don't get such kind of expectation. Okay, it will not happen. 1 month में आपको जॉब नहीं मिलेगा. So you have to keep trying. Maybe 1 month में नहीं होगा, लेकिन 2nd month से you will start getting it. So आपको 1 से 3 month टाइम देना है to find job. ठीक है. कोर्स होने के बाद इफ यू हैव लर्न ऑल द स्किल सेट, यू हैव टू गिव 1 to 3 months ऑफ टाइम टू लर्न एवरीथिंग. अब 1 से 3 मंथ के अंदर आपको जॉब हो जाएगा, अगर इफ आपने स्किल को डेवलप किया है, इफ यू हैव पुट लॉट ऑफ हार्ड वर्क, अगर आपने सीखा है, काम किया है, तो आपको 1 से 3 मंथ के अंदर जॉब लग जाएगी. तो ये टाइम लेगा, ठीक है. इट इज नॉट सो गोइंग टू बी 1 मंथ में आपको हो जाएगा, बट इफ यू आर परसिस्टेंट, कीप गिविंग, कीप लर्निंग, and we will keep gap analysis. आपको हर एक इंटरव्यू में कैसा आपका एक्सपीरियंस होगा, कहाँ पर गैप है, where you are not able to answer, so we will do the gap analysis. तो वहां पर काम करेंगे, उसको चेंज करेंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल, you are not able to answer join SQL में, ये क्वेश्चन आपको पूछा गया, you are not able to join, so we will sit with our teacher, with our team, and we will do the analysis कि आपको ये आंसर करना है. This way you have to answer. तो करते करते देखो, आप 10 इंटरव्यू दोगे, करते करते आपको 11वां इंटरव्यू से वही क्वेश्चन पूछेगा. The type of question will repeat. राइट, वो क्वेश्चन रिपीट होगा, वही क्वेश्चन पूछेगा. तो आप 10 बार फेल होगा तो 11वां से आप जरूर पास हो जाओगे. दिस इज द ह्यूमन साइकोलॉजी. आप फेल करते करते पास हो जाओगे. ठीक है, तो इसमें परसिस्टेंट चाहिए. ठीक है, आप परसिस्ट करोगे तो हो जाएगा. एनी मोर क्वेश्चन गाइस? एनीवन हैज एनी क्वेश्चंस?
सर हमारा रेगुलर क्लासेस कब से चालू हो जाएगा?
Yeah, I'm planning by next week. अभी मैं प्लान कर रहा हूँ, by next week से स्टार्ट करूंगा. Maybe 90-20. I will plan that. Next week I'm planning to start.
With the earlier batches, or you will be adding a new batch?
New batch. It will be brand new batch. नया बैच स्टार्ट होगा, brand new batch. Okay guys, so if you have no questions, then it's time to say goodbye. And tomorrow कल for technical होगा. I just want to give the test. Again, I'm not saying that you will learn everything. एक दिन में you will not learn everything. ठीक है? It will just, I will give some highlights, some tests कि Python कैसा होता है, SQL कैसा होता है, ताकि आपको थोड़ा सा understanding build up हो कि हाँ मैं कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं कर पाऊंगा. Just for giving experience. Okay? Cool. So tomorrow we will connect the same time, 8 p.m. and I will teach you some couple of Python and a couple of SQL. So just fill that test कि कैसा होता है. Okay. And tomorrow I will invite my current student from current batch, and they will share the same experience. Again, you can ask any number of questions tomorrow as well. So okay, sir, guys. So this is time to say goodbye. And Sudeep, I know that Sudeep having some medical issues at home. So, but he's on my request. I invited him to share his experience. So thank you, Sudeep, for your time. And
Thank you, Sudeep.
and I will see you tomorrow, guys. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. This is all from my side. Let's connect tomorrow, and tomorrow will be a bit technical side. And you will meet my current student. They will share their experience. Okay. So this is all. It's time to say goodbye. I will see you tomorrow. Right? Okay. Bye.